Hello and Kasileli everyone. We're thrilled to welcome Mr. Jonathan Veitch, the UNICEF Pacific representative, for this special interview conducted by an outstanding high school student from FSM. Today she will be asking Mr. Veitch about UNICEF's work in Micronesia, focusing on climate change, education, health, and how young people can get involved. This is a great opportunity for us to hear directly from a global leader working to support children and families in our islands. And without further delay, let's hand it over to our student interviewer.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Veitch. Thank you so much for taking time
Good morning.
to speak with me today. I am very grateful for the opportunity that UNICEF has given me to speak on behalf of the youth of FSM. Everyone is excited to learn about the work that UNICEF has been doing in the Pacific, including FSM. So could you just tell us a little bit more about yourself and what inspired you to work with UNICEF?
Thank you, Shiloh, and I'm really pleased to be with you today in Pohnpei, and so pleased that it's you, because you came with us last year to Antigua when we went to the youth conference in the Caribbean, so it's good to see you again. Well, as you said, my name is Jonathan Veitch, and I'm the head of UNICEF in the Pacific. So my responsibility covers 14 countries in the Pacific, including FSM. And our responsibility as UNICEF is to look after the rights of children. So we have a convention in the United Nations called the Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, which has been ratified by FSM and all states in the Pacific actually. And that sets out all of the rights that children have when they grow up. So the right to love, the right to good food, the right to education, and all those things that you would expect and deserve so that you can grow up and have a fulfilling life. And our job is to ensure that the government, who is responsible for delivering those rights to you, is responsible for you, and your parents and all other caregivers are able to do that, and we help them to do that. So that's my job as the head of UNICEF. And I travel around, and we have an office here in Pohnpei, and we have a head of office, and we have a full staff, and they work on a different range of UNICEF programs here.
Okay, thank you. Can you also share a bit about UNICEF's programs in the Pacific, including FSM?
Yeah, so we just came from the health department actually, and we just looked at the vaccines there, and we've just helped provide a home for a new generator, so that when you get fluctuations of power, you don't have a problem with the vaccines. So we're responsible for supporting vaccination of children in the whole of the Pacific, in fact the whole of the world. So we work on health issues of children, we work on nutrition a lot, so in FSM but also in other countries there's a problem with malnutrition. And that's because children don't have access to good quality nutrition all of the time. So we look at that and we try to understand why mothers are unable to provide good food to their children, or they don't make the right choices in their provision of food to children. We're a big water and sanitation organization, so we do WASH. We do WASH in schools. We help renovate facilities in schools, and we provide special spaces so that girls can go and have their own privacy in schools, and ensure that they're safe and can stay in school with dignity, which is very, very important. And we do education. We're a big education organization, so we try and support people like you, girls like you, to rise up through the system, not drop out, and to achieve their aims, which you're going to do, which I'm really pleased to hear this morning that you're going to go to university or college soon, so congratulations on that. And that's what we want every girl in the Pacific to be able to do, but not all have that opportunity. So we try and make sure that even those in remote rural island locations have that opportunity too. And then finally I would say that we work on child protection and those systems. Unfortunately, there's a lot of violence against children in the Pacific, so we think about those issues. We talk to the churches, religious leaders, we talk to parents, we talk to the police, we talk to the judicial system to ensure that children are protected. There is no reason ever to be violent towards a child, even if they're misbehaving. We can give them positive discipline, and we need to understand what that is and try and help them deal with the issues that are so complex for them, especially in adolescence, as you know. And then finally, we work on social protection, so we work on data collection. We try and help governments to collect data and to understand the context in which they're working so that they can make the right policy choices on behalf of their children.
What are some of the challenges you think children in the Pacific region face?
Well, there's so many multiple challenges. It's a bit different per country, to be honest with you. There are some common themes, but FSM is not the same as Samoa. It's not the same even as RMI next door. It's not the same as Kiribati. But there are common themes. One of the things that we see a lot of is the climate change challenge, which young people are more aware of than us older people, and you keep reminding us of, which is great, and you keep demanding change from governments, and you keep demanding responsibility from people to look after their environment, and that should be, you should continue to do that, I think. So climate change is a big issue. I'm concerned also about mental health. One of the things that many of you young people tell us is that you're under a lot of stress, and we have to try and understand what the drivers are behind that stress. Why do you feel so stressed? What is it? Is it social media that's playing into that? Is it because you may be bullied in the schoolyard? Is it because your parents are absent because they're working abroad and you are not being brought up in the right environment? Is it because you're scared about the future because you may not have a good job to go to, or you don't want to leave your country but you're feeling driven to leave your country? And I think that in the Pacific in particular, those mental health drivers are quite different to other countries, and we have to try and understand them. And then the violence aspect as well. Unfortunately, in the Pacific in general, many children are subjected to violence in one form or another, and we have to try and prevent that. So we work very carefully with everyone in society to take responsibility for that and to protect our children. So those are some of the areas. And I think the other one that I would point out is you're still at school. You're nearly finished and you've been very successful. But not all kids are very successful in education. You still have low numeracy and literacy rates in many schools. And we have to work out why. If a child like you is to grow up and be successful, they have to get a good education. And it's our responsibility as adults, and the government has the key responsibility for delivering that and making sure you have that opportunity. And we'd like to look at that a little bit more, because the quality of education, generally speaking, in the Pacific is not high enough.
Thank you. What role do you think people in the FSM can play in addressing climate change and improving their own communities?
Yeah, I think that we can all play a huge role in our own environment, right? And I've seen young people everywhere I travel take responsibility for this through trash collection on the beaches and trying to make sure that they don't use single-use plastics, that we don't have these bottles that we're continuously throwing away and they always end up in the ocean, So we need to also make sure that there's opportunities for alternative choices. So if the only thing available is a plastic bottle of a sugary drink, a child will purchase that sugary drink or will drink from it even when they're home. But if we think about other sustainable ways of producing more nutritious drinks, better quality, and ensuring that they get good water quality at home, then they don't have to take those choices. I think there's a role for policy choices as well. The government has to decide to put some barriers in place in terms of the use of single-use plastics and things like that in the Pacific, because it's a growing problem for all of our countries. I think also that children can play a role in schools, and you can all help educate each other around some of these issues. We can try and protect our school environment, we can plant gardens, we can plant trees in the schoolyard, try and make the system around the school stronger, so that when we get more and more cyclonic or high wind velocity and so on, that things are better protected. There's many different ways that we can all contribute in slightly different ways, because at the moment the situation is very challenging and it's getting harder for people to grow crops. Lots of people are having to leave their homes because they're being displaced through climate change. That we have to rehouse them, we have to move schools, we have to move health facilities in many locations, especially in atolls, low-lying islands. So it's a very complex issue, and one that we all have to focus on a great deal over the coming years.
What advice would you give to young people in FSM who would want to pursue a career in an organization such as UNICEF?
I would say never give up on your dream. So you're a young woman who hasn't given up on your dream, and as a result we recognised your talents and we took you to the Caribbean with us last year as a youth leader for the Pacific, and you work hard, and I would say that try your best. That's really, really, always try your best and never give up on your dream, because if you try your best, something good will happen to you. And you don't have to work for UNICEF or for any other UN organization tomorrow. You can do things locally, you can volunteer, you can help your local church to do things, you can help your local youth group, your education community, the community in the school can start a wash club, and you can make a difference to the environment in the school. So there's lots of little ways that you can contribute. And of course there's very valuable experiences in local organizations. So there's many talented NGOs, non-governmental organizations or community-based organizations, and they will help you take a step towards whatever objective that you have. So if you have a good heart and you want to give to other people, then pursue that and don't give up on it.
Thank you so much for your time. But before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with the young people that are currently watching?
No, I just want to say thank you to you. It's my pleasure to see you again, and I wish you all the best in your next journey.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear that you may be going to study psychology at university. So, you know, one thing that the Pacific is missing is psychologists, psychiatrists, people with the skills to be able to help others with mental health and other things. So I hope you come back. Yeah. And that you contribute back to your society, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavours, and I wish everybody who's listening the same thing, that you do your best and you succeed, and that UNICEF, on behalf of UNICEF, we will continue to support you in everything that you do. Thank you.
Okay, we really appreciate you for speaking with us today. Thank you for all the work that you've been doing for children in the FSM and in the Pacific region. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
That was a fascinating conversation. Thank you, Mr. Veitch, for taking the time to answer such thoughtful questions, and a big thank you to our student interviewer for doing an amazing job. This conversation shows that young people in FSM are thinking deeply about the future and are ready to take action to improve their communities. We hope this inspires more students to get involved in making a positive difference.